Hi, I'm Heather Russell, and this is 7 Arrow Ranch located in Bowie, Texas. I'm also the troop coordinator for AHG Troop TX0431 in Rome, Texas. We are chartered by Movement Church. I have three girls involved in our troop. I have a Patriot, a Pioneer, and a first-year Tender Heart. And then I also have 2 boys who are involved in Trail Life Troop TX 2011, also chartered by Movement Church in Rome, Texas. And this is our farm. Out here, the chickens are right behind our backyard, so we call them our backyard posse. That is one of our roosters. And this is the main coop. This one has a mama hen and some chicks. Hey, back off. There's the chicks in there. And they have water and they have food. And their mama's in there too, but it's nice and dark and cozy, so it's hard to see in there. Here are some of our baby chickens. They are in this brooder. They've got water and they have food. We have big chickens that try to jump in. They have their own little house. That is a heat plate right there. They have a heat plate that they can be under to keep them warm. It's nice and toasty outside today anyway. There's 20 of these right now, and these chickens are Cornish cross, and they grow really, really fast. These are some of our backyard chickens. They get very excited when I come out here because I usually come out here with food or treats. And right now, they are pecking on my pants. And we have about 25 of these chickens back here that lay us eggs. Ouch, that hurts. Just don't peck my toes. They're trying to eat my clothes. This is Comet. He's one of our hardworking farm dogs. He is a Great Pyrenees Anatolian mix, and his job is to protect the goats. He has really thick fur, and so he gets really hot in the summertime. So we've got holes dug all over the place. So the dogs can keep cool. Out here we have our Pasture Posse flock. They rotate behind the animals. We have animals that we rotate on a weekly basis, and they are part of that rotation. So the goats get moved to a new paddock with fresh grass on Sundays, and the cow gets basically the roam of the whole 20 acres that we own. But shortly after the goats go through, we bring in the chickens to clean up after the goats, and they eat any bugs that they find. So these chickens are our Pasture Posse, and right now they are living in this little coop, but we're working on a much bigger coop for them. These chickens aren't quite old enough to lay eggs yet, but they will be very, very soon. And it's hot and windy today, so right now they're under the cover of the trees hanging out. This is one of the roosters, and he's very protective of his flock. Right next door, oh, well, hello there, chicken. I have a runaway chicken. We have one chicken that has been on runaway. Oh, she's got scissor beak. We're gonna have to fix her. I think she's been in with the goats for a while. She ran away and got in with the goats at one point. She's just been with the goats ever since, which is fine. But normally she won't let me get near her. And today she was right up behind me. So, but her beak is crossed like scissors. It's like that instead of like that. So I put her in here, but I think I'm going to have to bring her back up to the house later on so that we can go ahead and get her fixed up. Right next to the chickens right now, we have our goats. We raise Spanish goats. We have one fainting goat out there, and he's just a pet. He's a friend. But all the rest of these goats are Spanish goats. We are conserving them. Their numbers are not very high. They're not endangered, but they're kind of close to it. And so we've been working with the Conservation Society to breed them and raise them and bring those numbers back up. So they mostly like to eat on tall stuff like ivy. They love poison ivy, and they love thistles, and they love briars, and they love oak trees. But we're rotating them through our whole entire pasture. So this particular paddock doesn't have a whole heck of a lot for them to chew on, but it does have enough for them to hide under and keep cool during the heat of the day. Plus they've got the horse shelter, a horse trailer right there that also provides them some shelter. It gives them some shade, and it protects them whenever it's raining outside. This goat right here is pregnant, and she is due pretty soon. So pretty soon we'll have some kids, and we're very excited. Out here we have our turkeys. Everybody is behind electric fence. It is very, very hot, so I don't want to touch it or get too close. But these are our turkeys, and they're very sweet. Okay, another thing we have on our farm is more chickens. We have a lot of chickens. These are meat chickens, and so they live in the shelter out here, and they get moved to new grass every single day, and they get fresh water, fresh feed every single day, just like everybody else. But they're way out here in our pasture where they rotate, move every day. And they're hard to see because it's hot and everybody's taking a nap right now. But they will be up and down this whole area, kind of like a zigzag, for a while. And they'll make all this grass really strong and healthy. The goats have already been on here, and so they've already done their part to eat up some of the tree line a little bit. You can tell on this tree, but not so much these trees. They mostly use these other ones for shade during the summertime, but in the wintertime they love to eat these trees. But during the summer they like the oak trees. And plus they were out here for a couple weeks, and they peed and pooped everywhere, and that's really good for the soil. It's kind of like fertilizer, except there's no chemicals in it. So we have about 20 acres of pasture, and the animals are all rotating through about 5 of it right now. They'll use up all 20 acres by the end of the year. But right now, we've got everyone concentrated to about 5 acres. You'll notice in this video that I didn't show any tractors, any side-by-sides, any machinery or heavy equipment at all. We have those things, and we do cut our own hay instead of buying it. But we try not to use the implements too much. We try not to drive on our property too much. We're trying to restore the grasses that we have. Because of the way things are typically done on most farms where they're using lots of chemicals, they need heavy machinery. The heavy machinery squishes all the soil and makes it really, really hard. So when the rain comes, the rain just kind of washes away and doesn't really get into the soil very much. When there's a lot of rain, the rain picks up the top layer of soil and carries it away. That soil is called topsoil, and it's what protects the rest of the ground and keeps the grass in place and keeps everything in place. So we try not to drive on our soil too much because we're trying to prevent that compaction, that squished soil. And the other thing that we're trying to do is to restore our topsoil. And the way that we're doing that is making sure that the ground is well fertilized by the animals, by peeing and pooping. And then there are times that we will come back in with the heavy machinery and we'll cut the grass that's there, and it's called chop and drop. And the grass gets cut and then it just stays there, and it acts kind of like a mulch and keeps everything covered up. As that grass that sits there, as it sits there and continues to get rained on, it will decompose and it will turn back into topsoil. And so over time we will have a nice thick layer of topsoil in our pastures, but that's going to take a few years to get there. what we do here is called regenerative agriculture. Agriculture relates to culturing the land, or agro, which is land. Regenerative is means to do again. Gen comes from Genesis, which means in the beginning. So we're trying to get back to the way God intended for things to be by using animals, and the way that he created and designed animals. They all have different jobs, and so the animals that we have here, we use them to do the jobs that he created and designed them to do. We do have a cow, and I don't know if she'll make this video, but cows will kind of mow everything down, and goats will eat the higher up stuff, so they're kind of like hedge trimmers, and so they'll trim everything up, and then the chickens go behind everybody and they spread all the poop out, and they eat all the bugs that are in the fields. And then all of that combined with the chop and drop, and letting things sit, letting things rest, not using chemicals or pesticides or herbicides or any of that other stuff, will restore the topsoil, which will make the grass really strong because it will be sheltered, and it's kind of like wearing a coat. You know, your whole body isn't covered in a coat, just part of your body. And so the roots will grow really, really thick and strong underneath the ground, and they'll be able to hold onto the soil so it doesn't wash away whenever it rains. And then the grass will grow tall, and when the grass grows thick and tall and healthy, it creates food for the cows, for the goats, and the chickens, and the whole process repeats again and again and again, just the way God intended for it to. So that's a little tour of our farm. We are not a certified organic farm. I know one of the badge requirements, I think, on sustainable living is to tour an organic farm. So we are not a certified organic farm. We are a regenerative farm. We're really raising them in a holistic manner that is the way that God created for them to be raised. And so I think that we're a little better than organic. I think we're partnering with God and working with God in the way animals were created and designed. And so we are a regenerative farm, and we are, you're gonna knock me over. And so we are trying to basically fix creation and fix some of the way that some of the things are normally done with herbicides and pesticides and lots of chemicals being dumped on the ground, and big heavy tractors being driven everywhere. It's not a bad thing, but for our land, it's not what we want. We are not trying to feed everybody in the whole entire world. We're trying to feed our community, so we don't need the big heavy machinery, and we don't need all the chemicals to be able to protect our food. We want to rebuild the earth, and we want to be stewards of creation, and we want to work with our animals the way that God designed the animals to be. They all have a job to do, and so we're working right next to God. Basically, he's telling us how to do things, and he's telling us how his animals are you know, what they're designed to do, and so we're trying to work within that design. So we are not a certified organic farm. We are a regenerative farm. And so I like to tell people when I'm explaining it that we're kind of beyond organic. It kind of sounds fun. Anyway, thank you so much. You're gonna knock me over, Joe. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching this little video, and I hope you guys enjoyed the short, quick farm tour of all of our animals.